What is up, guys? Rukarius here, and today is August 12th, which means it is my birthday, but also today marks the release of the new expansion, XY Ancient Origins. Now, at first glance, this set includes a lot of really interesting cards, such as Shiny Primal Groudon, Shiny Primal Kyogre, Shiny Mega Rayquaza. These are all reprints of sets that just came out 1 to 2 sets ago. Other than those cards, though, there are a lot more cards that are really competitive in this set, actually. And today I've compiled 10 of these cards to be on today's top 10 list, which is the top 10 cards from the new expansion, XY Ancient Origins. Before I get started with this list, I'd like to include some cards that aren't really honorable mentions, because they are pretty much indisputably the best cards in the entire set. The only reason I'm not including them in this list is because they're reprints. The first card is Level Ball. Level Ball allows you to search for any Pokemon 90 HP or less. If you're dealing with heavy EX decks, this isn't the best choice. I mean, what EX has 90 HP or lower besides Jirachi? And even then, Jirachi's not even in standard format. Level Ball does work really well in 90 EX decks, which you will see a lot of in this list. So I feel like Level Ball will make a huge comeback in the format. It was not in last year's standard format, but they are bringing it back in Ancient Origins, and it will make a huge impact. The next card is Lysander. Now, Lysander was first printed in XY Flashfire. I don't know why they're reprinting it so early, considering that the one from Flashfire is legal in standard format for next year. But I guess they just want to keep it alive for the next couple of years, and they don't want people to freak out about it. But yeah, Lysander is a really powerful card. Allows you to switch your opponent's active Pokemon for one of their defending Pokemon. Overall, a really strong card. A lot of people, or all people, include Lysander in their deck as 2 or 3. And Lysander and Level Ball are the best cards in Ancient Origins, but they're not in the top 10 list because they are reprints. Number 10 is a card that you really wouldn't expect to see in this list because I feel like it's really underrated. Not many people talk about it, and that is Regice. Now, Regice at first glance is a pretty solid Pokemon that the HP is a lot of hit points for non-EX. And, I mean, just that makes it a really solid Pokemon. But, you know, you also have Regirock and Registeel. So what makes Regice so popular? Or good in this case? Well, it's attack resistance Blizzard for 1 water and 2 colorless. Does 70 damage. And the cool part is, EXs can attack next turn. Now, you may be thinking, whoa, this is really good. Why is this such an underrated card? Well, I feel like there are a lot of workarounds to this, such as switch, retreating. There's a lot of stuff that can work around this. Regirock, it's pretty much the same thing as Regice. Instead of Resistance Blizzard, though, we have its attack, which does more damage if the defending Pokemon is an EX. I'm not so sure how this is going to do. Bouffalant did very well when it was still around. However, I feel like Bouffalant, even if it was still in format, would not be that good. Regirock might find its way in competitive play. I don't know. But we also have Registeel, whose attack, Forbidden Iron Hammer, the same amount of damage as Regirock and Regice's attack, but it lets you discard an energy from your opponent's active EX. I mean, Crushing Hammer does the same thing for a coin flip. I don't see Registeel really being in any competitive decks. But anyways, Regice does make number 10 on this list. Number 9 is, again, a card that you wouldn't really expect to see on this list, Unknown. Unknown's ability, called Farewell Letter, lets you discard Unknown without knocking it out and draw a card. This is a pretty straightforward ability, one of the most straightforward that we've seen. However, Unknown has something special about it. It's, first of all, under 90 HP, which lets you search it with Level Ball. Second of all, ability locks aren't going to be a thing. With Wobbuffet's By Barricade, it prevents all abilities except Psychic-type Pokemon. Unknown is unaffected. Unknown can go on discarding and drawing cards for you. But the decks that it can include it in is kind of limited, because who would want to fill 4 spaces in their deck with a card that only lets you draw another card? Well, there's some decks that would actually prefer this. Now, Giratina Vileplume does... The main strategy of Giratina Vileplume is to get Vileplume set up as quickly as possible and then start dealing damage with Giratina's Chaos Wheel attack. Now, Unknown is really useful in this deck because of the reason that it can help Vileplume get set up quickly with Unknown. You discard all the Unknowns, picking a bunch of cards, it's just awesome. It's also great in Vespiquen decks, which all these cards I haven't included on this list yet, but you know, they are really good cards, which means they will eventually be included on this list. Vespiquen does more damage for Pokemon in your discard pile, and the obvious choice is, well, if you're going to discard Pokemon, why wouldn't you want to draw cards? So Unknown is perfect in Vespiquen decks. But yeah, that is number 9. Number 9, I think, should go to Unknown because of its consistency and because of its ability to be included in a lot of different decks. And yeah, number 9 goes to Unknown. Number 8 is a card I just talked about, which is Vespiquen. Vespiquen has an attack, at first glance, may look very familiar. That's because it's pretty much the exact same thing as Flareon's Vengeance attack, which does 20 plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon you have in your discard pile. This isn't as strong as Night March. You'd expect it to be Night March equivalent, but no, it's not. Vespiquen's Be Revenge attack is kind of weak when you first look at it. I mean, 10 more damage for each discard Pokemon, that means what? You have to discard 16 Pokemon in order to knock out an EX? That's a lot of Pokemon. Yes, that is a lot of Pokemon. And that's why we have extra tools like Unknown. I just talked about this one. Discard and draw a card. It's as simple as that. You don't need to use any other tricks to discard it. You just straight up lay it down and discard it. Random Forces brought us Battle Compressor. Search your deck for 3 cards and discard them. Simple as that. Now, why would you want to play this card? Because of Vespiquen. Or Night March if you're playing that. Battle Compressor could help you get these Pokemon in the discard pile really quickly. And yeah, dish out large damage with Be Revenge. Level Ball also provides support in this deck as it does with Unknown. Now Level Ball can search out Vespiquen because it is 90 HP, which is really good because you can get all your Vespiquen set up with just Level Balls. But yeah, number 8 does go to Vespiquen because I feel like it is a really good card and it's going to see a lot of play in the upcoming season. Now number 7 is a card that a lot of people hyped over in this set, and that is Lugia EX. At first glance, Lugia EX looks identical to Mewtwo EX from Legendary Treasures. Mewtwo EX's X-Ball dominated in, I want to say 2013, around that area. Back when Mewtwo was first announced, Mewtwo was a predominant deck at its time. Lugia, however, I don't think it'll be as popular as Mewtwo because we already have all these powerful EXs. But Lugia, a very solid Pokemon, it is also colorless, so you can include it in any deck. It can also be searched out with Winona from Roaring Skies, making it an obvious inclusion to Mega Rayquaza decks. But yeah, Lugia I feel like is a really solid card, and it will see a lot of play in the decks in the upcoming season, and that's why it's number 7. Number 6 goes to Mega Sceptile EX, probably the most hyped card of the set. Now the reason it's hyped isn't because of its cool ancient trait ability, which I will point out right now is awesome. Theta Stop prevents all abilities from directly affecting Sceptile. This pretty much only means that it can't be hit by Golbat and Crobat or Malamar EX. Nonetheless, it still is a really cool ancient trait to be included on Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile, its attack, Jagged Saber, does 100 damage. Well, that's actually a lot of damage for 2 energy. When you think about it, not many cards can dish out that many damage besides Mega Magnetric from Phantom Forces for 2 energy. Now the added effect is the real kicker. That alone is a game changer. It heals all damage from them. Imagine if you're late game, you have 2 of your Pokemon, pretend it's 2 Mega Sceptiles, only 20 dying, you bring in your 3rd Mega Sceptile, Jagged Saber, heals all the damage off of them. I've seen online these commercials, and they just show, you have a Sceptile active, Mega Sceptile active, Mega Sceptile on your bench, keep rotating between them and keep using Jagged Saber to heal. I've seen that, and that can happen. I mean, Mega Sceptile can be included in a lot of decks with Grass Energy. In expanded format, it will do very well with Genesect EX. Now, the obvious partner for Genesect EX is obviously Virizion EX, but I feel like Sceptile can be included as a replacement for Virizion because it does twice the amount of damage and it heals the Pokemon. But yeah, number 6 does go to Mega Sceptile EX because I think that it is just phenomenal and it definitely will be a game changer. Number 5 is one of those overhyped cards, Giratina EX. Giratina's ability, Renegade Pulse, blocks, do I have to say it, all damage from Mega Pokemon. I mean, it's like Suicune all over again. You know, Safeguard. I mean, not just this, but its attack, Chaos Wheel. That's it. Does 100 damage for a Grass, a Psychic, and two colorless, which is pretty much one Double Dragon and one double colorless energy. That sounds a lot better, doesn't it? But the added effect is awesome. The added effect is that your opponent can't play any Stadium, Special Energy, or tools for the next turn. These locks are getting out of control. For Seismitoad, now this, I mean, plus it blocks all damage from Megas. I mean, how can you not like this card? Well, the obvious partner for Giratina EX is Vileplume. Vileplume has an item locking ability, which means no one can attach items. Which pretty much means, paired with Giratina, all your opponent can do is supporters, basic energy, lay down Pokemon. And maybe attack if they have the amount of energy needed. But that's pretty much all they can do. Giratina EX really limits its your opponent's abilities. And 100 damage for an attack that you can power up for 2 energy, Double Dragon, double colorless, is really good. So I feel like Giratina will be a really popular card in the next format, XY. That's why it's on this list. Number 4 is a card I just mentioned, which is Vileplume. Now Vileplume is a pretty much exact reprint of what it was back in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which blocked all trainers. This included supporters in stadiums and items at the time. So I mean, back then it was insane. You could set up Vileplume and pretty much prevent your opponent from doing anything. That's not the case here, unfortunately. Vileplume now just blocks items. This is still huge. I mean, we saw Seismitoad's success at national championships. Item locks are a really big deal. We also saw Drevgor back when Trent Orndorff played at the World Championships last year and took the championships for the senior division. So yeah, item locks is a really big deal, which is why Vileplume is on this list. Another cool thing about Vileplume is that you can get it set up with the new stadium, Forest of Giant Plants. That's all I can really say. Item lock turn 1. You used to be able to do this with Wally's Trevenant. This is a much more efficient way because you don't have to use your supporter. But Vileplume, you're going to need to watch out for this one. That's why it's number 4. Number 3 is a card, yes, I just talked about it, Forest of Giant Plants. Forest of Giant Plants allows your Grass-type Pokemon to evolve the first term that it was put out on the field. And this is really good. That's really all I can say about it. The obvious partner would be Vileplume from the set, which I just mentioned, but there are other partners that are underlooked in this set. You can also partner it with, let's say, Beedrill. You can partner it from Sceptile, both of these from Primal Clash. You can partner it with Roserade from Flashfire. I mean, there's tons of possibilities. You can also power up Mega Sceptile first turn. The possibility with people are kind of, skeptical about is Shiftry from Next Destinies and Expanded. Now, Shiftry has the ability Giant Fan. When you lay it down, you may flip a coin. If it's heads, you scoop up one of your opponent's Pokemon. The whole idea of this deck is just to get as many Shiftries out, flip a bunch of coins, and win by having your opponent have no Pokemon left on their field. That's the dirtiest strategy I ever heard of. I mean, that's even worse than Seismitoad Carboder. But yeah, Forest of Giant Plants, it will definitely be a game changer. Number 2 is the one, the only, Hoopa EX. Hoopa is the mascot of Ancient Origins, and that's why it's on this list. Not only is it on this list because it's a mascot, but also because of its ability. Scoundrel Ring, I was disappointed they changed it from Bandit Ring, but whatever. Scoundrel Ring, when you lay down Hoopa, lets you search your deck for 3 EXs. I think Pokemon is trying to break the game. I really do. First Mega Sceptile, then this. I mean, search your deck for 3 EXs? That's like, yeah, searching your deck for 3 EXs, that's just huge. And you don't even need to use any item cards or supporters. It's just in the Pokemon. You can Ultra Ball for a Hoopa, Hoopa for a Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza Shaman, lay down the Rayquaza, lay down the Mega Rayquaza, Shaman fill up your hand, and it's just insane what you can do with Hoopa. But yeah, Hoopa I feel like will not be a popular inclusion in a ton of decks. I feel like the primary candidate to include Hoopa in is Mega Rayquaza or Speedquaza or whatever you like to call it. Because Hoopa lets you fill up your bench really quickly, so you can start Emerald Breaking for 240 even quicker than you were able to do before. Hoopa EX, even though it's not preferable in all decks, can be included in a lot of stuff. The only downside about Hoopa is that it can be live standard out, and it does have a 2 retreat cost. It doesn't have anything like Shaman Sky Return. You can't plop it back to your hand and reuse it. But I mean, if you run a couple AZs, super scoop ups, it'll be all good. But yeah, Hoopa, a very broken card. That's why it made it up to number 2. Now you may be asking yourself, what the heck could be better than a card that lets you search your deck for 3 EXs? Not much, right? Well, I did some research, and a lot of people were putting this card as their top card on this list, and I didn't really see why. Well, this card does deserve a spot in this list, and that card is Mega Tyranitar EX. Mega Tyranitar is very interesting because it's, I think, the only EX Pokemon that has Theta Double, where you can attach 2 Pokemon tools. The obvious choice for this would be a Tyranitar Spirit Link and a Muscle Band. You could always go crazy and add 2 Muscle Bands and just not even care about any of your turn for Mega Evolution, but the Spirit Link and a Muscle Band would be most preferable. And this is really cool. I mean, you can have a Spirit Link while dishing out extra damage. I don't think a Muscle Band will be needed when you see this attack. So Destroyer King does do 100 damage for 2 Dark and a double colorless. Now 110 damage for that hefty of an energy requirement is not that good. But you see the plus and you think something's up. So the added effect is that it does 60 more damage for each damage counter on a defending Pokemon. Whoa! So if you Golbat Sneaky Bite onto the defending Pokemon, then Destroyer King can hit for 230, which knocks out everything except the primals. And, except the primals. And even then, you can just Muscle Band and kill him. So the obvious inclusion, like I said, would be Bats, but you could also work with Fortress from Flashfire. But, I mean, that's just insane. Like, if you have a Wailord, this thing can 2-shot a Wailord all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane. You can rack up endless damage. This thing will 2-hit KO anything unless they use a healing item. Mega Tyranitar, even though it can't search your deck for 3 EXs, probably the most broken card in the entire set. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Today's my birthday, so I'm going to do something exciting. Got a lot of Ancient Origins stuff to open up, definitely. But I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list. It's the first one I've done on this channel. Let me know how you like it in the comment section below. Yeah, like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully I'll be doing more top 10 videos on other stuff too, like my top 10 favorite Pokemon or whatever. I will be doing videos like this for every set, so make sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next video.